Hello and welcome to Easy Like a Sunday Morn. I'm your host, Shane Lockwood, and this is episode 37. And today is the 7th of December 2014, and this show will go up late, probably tomorrow, which was today. It's always today when you're listening to the show, isn't it? Oh dear, the logistics of time travel and recording. I want to say thank you to everybody who tunes in each and every week, and also to those who are listening to this for the very first time. This week's show, I'm talking about the Lords of Time 3 Doctor Who convention that happened this weekend. In fact, the reason why this show is late is because of that particular event. Excuse me. I tried several times to record a show on the way to the event. It started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be in the city. But I just didn't get around to it. I couldn't find anywhere that there wasn't a whole heap of background noise and that sort of stuff. And I ran out of power on my phone and battery power and all that sort of stuff. Those things happen. But you're here with me. We're here together. We're going to make that connection once again. The convention itself was incredible. It was a small group of people, probably around 60 people in the audience, and there were like 4 main guests, and they were absolutely fantastic. But before I get to that, I've got a list of stuff from my notes that I took while I was there. I want to say thank you to Scott Liston, who organised the event. He does a great job of sorting this stuff out. I want to say thank you because he also set aside the Red Dwarf convention DVDs from earlier this year. Now, I've been waiting for them since February. The recorded footage of a Red Dwarf convention. Red Dwarf is a British sci-fi comedy. It takes the Mickey, I could say, out of Star Trek and all these other science fiction shows. Very, very funny. But it's British humour, and I don't think a lot of Americans like it for that reason, but it's worth checking out if you've never heard of it before. It's called Red Dwarf. I was after these DVDs that they shot footage of in Melbourne. They weren't shooting footage in Adelaide earlier this year. I had filmed some stuff. I had permission by the management to do so, but a few stars and things got upset. They said, why are you filming? And it's just for YouTube, right? But if someone expresses discomfort or they're not happy with anybody, with me filming something, then I'm not going to put that footage online. So I've got footage that is excellent, but I can't use it, and I don't want to be responsible for that. Anyway, when I went to the convention yesterday, there's a big sign saying, look, strictly no filming whatsoever. So something's happened between me recording at the Red Dwarf convention and this convention, and I'm guessing it was my actions, but nothing's said publicly, but it becomes, when there's a change of policy, there's a cause and effect involved there. What was I thinking? The first guest was a guy by the name of Jeffrey Beavers. It's Bevers, and he appeared as the Master, who is the basically the Moriarty to Sherlock Holmes in Doctor Who. He's basically a rogue Time Lord who just sets out to create mischief for the Doctor. So he played the Master, but he played the Master for one episode, for one story called, I can't remember it now. I'm not going to bother looking it up now. I think it's The Assassin, or I should know this. I used to know all of the Doctor Who episodes off by heart. I think it's The Assassin. Long story short, he plays like a version of the Master that is like the body's heavily burnt and all this sort of stuff. And he's still playing the Master in the Big Finish audio dramas. And he talks about his book. He's written a book called The Forgotten Fields. And he was talking about during the interview, because what happens is you've got a panel of, the audience is there, but there's two seats, and Scott will interview the guests. So he was talking about the mindsets are different from the different eras of Doctor Who behind the show, and how the show is a lot more feminist now and a lot more equal. The companions are not scream queens anymore. They're a bit more decisive in what they want to do, and very often they will tell the Doctor where they want to go and what they want to do, and things like that. But he was talking about like a few of his handwritten. He'd written scripts. He wrote scripts for the Big Finish audio dramas, some of which I will have to look at. One's called Unnatural Selection, and the other one's called Unintelligent Design, I think it is. But he was really, really good. He was really good, and these people are funny. They're absolutely hilarious. They're captivating. You really need to go to some of these conventions. Oh, by the way, the conventions, the tickets are 120 Australian dollars each, and they're not cheap. If you're a fan club member, like if you're a member of the Red Dwarf fan club, or Doctor Who fan club, or a sci-fi fan club, you will get the tickets for like $90 each, and I think there are discounts for children and whatnot. But it was a really, really great event. Autographs are, I think, actually they've reduced the price of autographs to $20 each, and the DVDs that I bought of the Red Dwarf convention were $30 each. I bought 2 copies because I'm going to send one overseas, make somebody's Christmas rather special. Or if you want your Christmas to be special, I'm going to be posting a link in the description bar, in the show notes, where you can send Christmas cards to me. But all you got to do is leave a comment letting me know that you want a Christmas card, and I will send you a Christmas card. But I'll give you details of how you can send me Christmas cards and all that sort of stuff. It's coming up to the time where you'd have to send them now if you want me to get them before Christmas. So you want to really, really get on that. I've got postage to send as well. I've got to do a whole heap of stuff tomorrow. I've got to fill out Christmas cards to the people who've already asked for them. So, got all that happening. Now, the next guest was Matthew Waterhouse. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Doctor Who's history, Matthew Waterhouse played a character called Adric. And Adric was a guy from another planet who was a mathematical genius, basically. But a lot of people found the character very, very boring, and he in real life was making the mistake of telling the principal actors how to act and all sorts of stuff. So, but the thing was he was famous for being the first companion in Doctor Who. Because to explain a companion, the Doctor travels with a companion, and the companion is very often human, more than likely female, just so that the audience has an in to the show. This is someone who that the audience can relate to. The companion will ask questions that the audience will often have, so they will ask questions about time travel and stuff like that, and then the Doctor will explain whatever. Adric was the first companion to officially die on screen, I think, and his final episode was Earthshock, and he died because he was stuck on a ship that had been sent back in time, and it was the ship that crashed on the planet Earth that killed off the dinosaurs and not killed off the dinosaurs. It was the explosion that started life on the planet, I think. I can't remember exactly. I know someone will look it up and berate me and correct me and stuff like that. But he was funny too. He was very, very funny. He was saying that because of the budget was so low on Doctor Who, they would recycle the sets and things like that. Just spray paint the colours different. The background sets different colours, and you can actually tell if you are a Doctor Who aficionado. You can tell by the background that they've used the same set. They've just painted a different colour and hoped nobody would notice. But he was saying that duct tape and Doctor Who go together like horse and carriage, because a lot of the sets were very held together with like nothing more than duct tape. They were very flimsy sets. Very often you'd have a boom mic in the shot. A boom mic is the microphone that goes over the top of the actors and points down, and it's something that you have to be very aware of when you're filming, that it doesn't come into shot and it doesn't cast a shadow on the actors. What else have I written in my notes? One of the discs that I bought were scratched, but it still works, so I'm happy about that. Also, Matthew Waterhouse appears in a whole heap of audio dramas because they were curious, because he put off doing anything to do with Doctor Who for a long time. So he's starting to do Big Finish audio dramas. Wow, I'm 30 minutes in. Thank you for listening for this long, if you have. And he's also doing the Dark Shadows Bloodlust series. So do check that out. You go to bigfinish.com and you can actually download a whole series of audio dramas. You can buy them on CD if you want something physical. So audio dramas are really, really good. They're like basically the old-time radio plays, but the Big Finish audios are superb quality. They're basically the equivalent of a movie, but just with audio. And the acting is always superb and things like that. The sound effects are great, the music's fantastic. It's well worth checking out and supporting. I know places and people where people have pirated like audio dramas and things like that, and they've lost lots and lots of money, and they've had to cancel certain projects. So please don't pirate audio dramas. It does affect the economy. It really, really does. So if you support these things financially, you are literally supporting these things and keeping them going. You're paying for the next project, and it just keeps things going. So it's good to give money back. Terrence Dix was a script editor back in the 70s and 80s with Doctor Who, and even though I didn't pay for like a VIP ticket, so you can pay for a VIP ticket. I think they're about $400 Australian, and it's very expensive, but you get to have breakfast, lunch, and I think an afternoon meal, like dinner, basically breakfast, lunch and dinner with the guests, and you can ask them questions, you can do whatever you want. Everything's included for that price though, with a VIP ticket. So you sit up front, you get all the autographs and photos and stuff like that included. You can have a meal with the guests. Terrence Dicks had come downstairs because they said, okay, it's the lunch break. And I walked down and he walked past me and he looked lost. And I basically said to him, okay, you're supposed to be on the mezzanine here because that's where they're having lunch. He goes, he said it was the same place we were having breakfast. I'm thinking, no, you're supposed to be up there. But he was nice and funny and had a whole heap of stories to tell and things like that. It was great to actually meet the guys behind a lot of the classic Doctor Who. And the other guest was a guy by the name of Gary Russell. And he did a lot of the new series Doctor Who stuff. Because what had happened was the show went off the air in 1989. And there was a TV movie made in 1996, but the show came back again in 2005 and has been going strong ever since. Now, Gary Russell was a script editor with the New Who, and he was talking about, with Terrence Dicks, the different styles of script editing and what the process they've got to go through and things like that. It was just really, really interesting to listen to these guys to do their little thing. The final guest was Katie Manning, and she played a character called Jo Grant in the show. She was a companion to the third Doctor, I think. She was a companion to the third Doctor, and going back to Geoffrey Beevers, he was married to the woman who played Liz Shaw, who was also the first companion to the third Doctor, who was then replaced by Jo Grant, played by Katie Manning. And Jo Grant was one of the most beautiful women back then in the 60s and 70s. She was one of the most beautiful women you will have ever seen in your life, one of the most beautiful women ever in Doctor Who. I had a bit of a crush on her, and she's obviously aged somewhat since then, but she's married to the musician Barry Crocker, who's done the theme tune to the Australian sitcom Neighbours, I think. But she was great with kids. There were kids asking questions. There's a little girl kept asking the same question: who's your favourite Doctor, and what's your favourite thing to do in Doctor Who? A very well thought out generic question, and these people were humble enough to answer it. But Katie Manning was giving a lot of personal attention to the children that were there, and there was lots of hugs and stuff like that. So it was a great event, great people. During my lunch break, I said that I'd met a few people from another fan club, and I think it was only $20 a year, and then you pay like $2 a month to go to their meetings and stuff like that, which is pretty good because you get like the heavy discounts on that sort of stuff, on the autographs and whatnot. No, I don't bother with autographs so much. If I'm interested in a celebrity, I will get a photo taken, because it's $40, right? But it's you with a celebrity. If there's multiple celebrities, so if it's 2, then it's going to be $80. If it's 3, $120. But the cutoff is $120. So if there's 4 celebrities or 5, it's only $120. And that's something I can put on Facebook and say, hey, I was really with this celebrity. So yeah, it's well worth doing, but it's not something I can do all the time. So these events are annual events. So it's like once a year there'll be like a Doctor Who convention. Once a year there'll be a Red Dwarf convention. There won't be a Red Dwarf convention here in Australia for another 2 years, and that's hopefully because Chris Barry is scared to fly, but hopefully his children will be old enough to actually want to come out to Australia, and that will be an incentive, I think. And I think it would be actually great to get a photo with Chris Barry. That would be absolutely awesome. I can't encourage him enough to come to see Australia as well. It'd be absolutely fantastic. What else is going on? So that was Lords of Time 3. That was absolutely amazing. What else is going on? Next week I will talk about the unfriending of a certain individual, because it's rather heavy, and I will have to put my thoughts together on what's going on or what happened since. But I didn't like the fact that I am now the bad guy in the situation, because I didn't discuss what was going on. Long story short, anyway. The people that run these conventions, the website is www.firstcontactconventions.com.au, and do check them out. There are photos that you can go through, photos for sale of various celebrities and things like that. So if you like a science fiction franchise like Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, Star whatever, Red Dwarf, Babylon 5, Firefly, you name it, you can get photos of your favourite celebrity, but better yet, you can actually meet them in person and say thank you for many years of enjoyment for producing these TV shows. And it's amazing. What I don't like is some of what they call the star system, where a lot of the American celebrities, when they come here, they'll find the attitude towards them very different. When they come to Australia, the attitude them is very different. And I think also Australians are very popular in Hollywood and Los Angeles because there isn't the same level of ego and just expecting people to be kind and courteous and to do what you want just because you appeared in a movie. I think Australians can be somewhat humble, but then again, that's a generalisation. But that's the anecdotal stuff that we keep hearing, that, Australian actors, and not only that, Australian fans of American actors tend to be a lot more warm and friendly. And I think, it's just one of those things that, Anyway, I'm running low on content here, but I want to say thank you once again for tuning in this long, and I'm going to desperately search for a code word. But while I do that, if you'd like to send me a tweet, you can do so by sending me a tweet on Twitter at SHAIDO, Shido, on Twitter. Let me know that you've listened to the show. Share this show if you want to on Facebook and other social media. Leave a comment on YouTube. The links to everything are all down below. If you want a Christmas card, you can write to me or email me, contact me on Facebook, send me a tweet, right, letting me know that you want a Christmas card. But if you want to write to me, send me a Christmas card, the address is Shane Lockwood, P.O. Box 1067, Salisbury. That's Salisbury, space SA in capital letters. That's short for South Australia. The postcode is 5108 Australia. And I'll get your messages, and I may even read them on the air if you wish me to. But I want to say thank you to everybody who's already done that. That's fantastic, and I will get back to you with your Christmas cards. I want to say thank you once again for tuning in every week, leaving feedback and being patient. I know the show is going to be late, but hopefully not too late. It's been a great weekend, and I look forward to watching through my Red Dwarf convention DVDs. I'm also bought 4 DVDs. I bought Guardians of the Galaxy, which is well worth getting, and also the new Judge Dredd film, not with Stallone, it was the new one. And I've halfway through that before I had to run off to go to the convention. Oh, the other thing is, when I tried to record this before, I tried to do it live in public, and it wasn't a success. This is why you need like an MP3 recorder if you're doing your own podcasts and have to be doing anything live. The equipment that I've got is just too bulky to do anything portable. But there's the breaks. That's what you learn. And anybody can do a podcast. Anybody can do a podcast. You don't need expensive microphones. You don't need expensive equipment. All you need is a webcam and a program called Audacity, or the equivalent to whatever operating system that you're using. You plug in the webcam, you hit record, and then you hit stop, then you export the file. Then you can mix it up. You can add your special effects and do whatever it is that you want to do. Intros, outros, etc., etc. It's fairly easy. And if you do set up a podcast, just because I said you could do it, I'm not saying I'm not giving you permission to do it. I'm just saying that you physically can do it. Let me know. Send me a tweet, send me an email. Let me know in the comments down below. Look, it might not be a success. Who knows? I don't consider this to be a successful podcast in terms of comparison to anybody else, but I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. I'm just doing whatever I want to do because it's easy, like a Sunday morn. And with that, I will pick the code word which you guys have been patiently waiting for the whole show. The code word for today is the word scratch. SCRATCH, scratch. And if you leave that in the comment section below, I will let you know that I've read it, and I will know that you've listened to the entire end of the show. It was a bit rambly, but I was a little bit more prepared than what I thought I was, and then a little bit underprepared than I thought I was. But I'm coming on 30 minutes. Thank you once again for tuning in. As always, make sure that the rest of today and the rest of the week is easy like a Sunday morn. See you next week. Bye for now.